Hey guys, welcome to the Beauty and Brains podcast. This is your host, Casey. I'm here to talk about everything to help you become your best self. That includes fashion, finance, fitness, health, beauty, and all the things. So, if you can see, something has entered the chat. We have my cookbook I created, and I have it on Amazon. If you want to go check it out, it's called the Bikini Body Cookbook. All right, so last we left off, I was telling you guys about my health and how it deteriorated just a bit when I was 21. So, in about 7 days, I will be 31. So, it's been a 10-year journey of learning how to eat, how to train, how to do everything to become my healthiest self. So, I've been doing this for a while. I wanted to rewind and tell you about my story when it came to my adolescence and up. So we're going to start with childhood. So I am Filipino and Chinese, mostly ethnically Filipino with some descendants of Hokkien. So in the Philippines, people eat a lot. A lot of good food. I'm not going to lie to you. The food is delicious. However, the Philippines has a lot of different health problems when it comes to heart attacks, diabetes, stroke. Those are all mostly health related. So I learned about my family and their health conditions at an early age. I was totally exposed to someone having diabetes, someone having a stroke, someone having a heart attack. That was like a normal thing. And it's not normal in my brain now, okay? So I want to help everyone get out of that mindset that all those things are normal because it's not normal. It's not okay. You can change your health from your diet, okay? So if you need help, just get my cookbook. All right. So growing up, I was like, every weekend someone was dying. I was at the funeral home. It was like my second, third home, the funeral home with all my friends and family. We're like, oh, hey, yeah, this person passed away this weekend. Like, dang. And it was so funny because, like, growing up, telling my friends, yeah, I'm going to a funeral this weekend. They're just like, why are you so happy about it? I'm like, because it's right beside Burger King. That's why, because I get to eat Burger King when I go to the funeral, and I never get to eat Burger King. Um, we didn't grow up eating fast food because we had so much good food at home, right? Good food. Um, so, so when I was 12, I learned about PETA, and I learned how animals were killed for food and all those things, and that hurt me because I loved animals. I had dogs. I was like all about the animals. So I was like, I'm gonna be vegan. I was 12, and I was like, okay, I don't actually know how to be vegan. So I stopped that. Waited till I was 14 years old, and then I think the year later, my sister joined me in vegetarianism. So we were both vegetarian. I was vegetarian um, from 14 to 26. So 14 also would eat very low calories because I was thinking I was fat. So I would have limited carb intake, very little protein, all the things you shouldn't do growing up because you're growing. You need food, right? So then I started eating pasta. I was like, okay, I'm vegetarian, so I'm healthy because I'm eating pasta. I was just eating carbs and fat, guys, and I was like skinny fat. I wasn't I wasn't big at all. Um, I didn't do any sports. I played no sports. I was in a club, Filipino American Youth Association instead. And then I was in a pageant, a Filipino pageant. So I was not someone that was inclined to sports and health and fitness at all. Okay, I had to learn all this myself. So then when I was in college, I got kicked out at 19. So I was struggling on the struggle bus, living in horrible places, eating horrible food, eating what I could. I was on food stamps. I know I look a little ghetto, but I'm gonna fix it. I was on food stamps. I was working and in school, taking 21 credits, working 24 hours a week, and I was doing the very best I can, okay, at the time. Now, that hustle mentality I have now started when I was in college. So I'm happy about that. Okay, so I was eating whatever I could. I was eating ramen 3 times a day. When someone in my apartment would eat my ramen, I would cry. Because I'm like, now I have nothing to eat tonight. That's mine, that I purchased. Because, your girl was on food stamps. Food was cheaper back then, but I was like using it on other things too, okay? So I'm like struggling. I have a meal plan at school. I'm like eating as much as I can at school, but I'm also trying to take my classes. So I would rather go to class than eat. And that was something I normalized because I wanted to graduate within 4 years, and I did. Okay? If you're in a teaching program and your school doesn't allow you to pass the praxis 1 and 2 before graduation, then that's not a good program. My school, I had to pass all 5 tests before I graduated college, and to even get in the program, I had to pass praxis 1, and that was my goal. My sophomore year, when I got kicked out for a whole year and a half, I spent $1,000 on praxis because I was determined. The passing score was higher back then, 30 points higher than it is now. So I was really aiming for that top score. Yeah. Anyway, when I graduated college, I had my new big girl job. I was like, now I get to eat and get my nails done, which really, I don't ever regret getting my nails done growing up, but people will say the latter, like, don't get your nails done. But if that's the only thing making you happy, then do it. Okay, anyway, so I would have an abundance of food, just like I do now. I would have an abundance of food. I would have frozen pizza, Chipotle, Taco Bell, McDonald's, like anything vegetarian I would get. Chick-fil-A fries. So in the morning, when I started my teaching career, I would go to Dunkin' and get a sugared down iced coffee with 2 pumps of whatever and 3 sugars and cream and a bagel with cream cheese. That was my breakfast. Then someone would say, oh, I have this, and that for breakfast. Okay, I'm going to have some too. And then for lunch, I would have the school lunch sometimes, or I'd bring my lunch, and then we would order too. So not only was I ordering pasta or pizza, a large pizza, I was also eating my lunch. So I was having like my meal prep and lunch. So by my second year, I was like, okay, Casey, you're going to make a full satiety based meal prep. Like, you're going to have protein, carbs, and vegetables in your meals. So that was like the start of this, okay? So I would have seitan, wild rice, and broccoli. And for some reason, I was not full. And I know why, because the portions were small. Now that I think about it, the portions were very small. So I would order pasta with my coworkers and we would just eat for an hour. Who eats for an hour? Me. I used to. Who eats for 20 minutes now? Me. I can't even eat more than 5 minutes. I'm like done. So that happened. My body would get tired walking up the steps, walking my class up the steps. I'd be like, gosh, I can't even walk up the steps. I started working out, and then I was so sore working out. My kids were like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm tired. I was exercising. You shouldn't exercise. Like, they're so funny. They're only 6. So I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Okay, well, I'm going to just do me. So that's how it started. And then a few years down the line, I was a personal trainer and gym manager. And I was still meal prepping. At that point, I started tracking my calories, tracking my macros, and then I met someone that introduced me to meat again. They were like, "You should try it," and I was just like, "Okay." So I started eating meat slowly, and then everything was like, boom! I feel so much better than I used to. I used to be so tired, like my body needed that complete protein. Genetically, I understand why my parents didn't think eating a vegetarian diet was appropriate because they knew I would feel like crap. And I did. I felt like crap for years. My back would hurt all the time. I couldn't sleep. I was just not feeling my best. Not like now. Okay. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I started this. And then after eating meat, I was like, okay, well, I need to like get my diet together. I want to change my body. So I was like, maybe I should try a bikini show. And here we are now, 3 years later. Me being a nationally qualified wellness athlete from last year, nationally qualified, and having a cookbook. So, life is great. Life is like a full circle, and I love it. So, if you're willing to become your best self, I know you are, because that's why you're here. You're going to go on Amazon right now and type in the Bikini Body Cookbook and purchase. It is paperback only right now. I think it's essential for people to hold a book and actually read. But it's small enough for you to put in your carry-on. It's small enough for you to slip into someone's purse for a gift. It's great. I am so proud, and I'm already working on my next few projects because this got really good reviews, and I'm really excited for more. So if you are ready to become your best self, please follow and subscribe and get my cookbook. Have a great day.